Hey everybody, I was having some issues with Facebook. So we are currently on YouTube. We're on YouTube Live. I'm going to send you the link in the chat to share with all of your friends and family. Hey everybody, I was having some issues with Facebook. So we are currently on YouTube. We're on YouTube Live. I'm going to... Alrighty, go ahead and you can share that with all of your friends and family. Yeah, you're hearing me doubled because it was, I fixed it. I fixed it. Oh, all right. Now I can fix more things. There we are. All right.
Can you throw it in the Zoom chat for me?
Yes, sir. I can get that done for you. There's yeah, there's two different links there for you. Yep. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that, and I'll have my friendly face for people who enjoy this. Yeah, and since we're not using any music or anything in this one, we shouldn't have any issues with copyright. But if people can sort of keep an eye on that, because we had some issues with that last time we did one on YouTube. This is why we stuck with Facebook for so long. Oh, I need to put it on Zooming the Movies. For so long. Oh, I need to put it on Zooming the Movies. Everyone needs to double check their audio and make sure that their YouTube audio is not going to come through their microphone as well.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, what's up?
Nothing.
Oh, I need to put it on Zooming the Movies. Everyone needs to double check their audio and make sure that their...
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Hello, hello.
Yep, all good.
Hello.
Yes.
Just checking.
Hello?
Checking.
Okay,
Hi.
everybody's here. Everybody's
All right,
here.
cool.
We're all good.
Check.
Hey.
Ding dong.
Здравствуйте.
Okay, all right. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to Zooming the Movies. Tonight we're streaming on YouTube. I was having some issues on Facebook. So if you want to share it, you can follow the YouTube link that you're watching this through and share it with all your friends and family. Tonight we present to you a Marvel Cinematic Universe piece. This is our third MCU piece. We had Avengers, we had Black Panther, and now we have Captain America Civil War, my personal favorite MCU piece. I don't think it's the best one. I think that one goes to Black Panther, but my personal favorite is Captain America Civil War. Let's take it away.
Captain America Civil War. Screenplay by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Based on Captain America by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Transcript edited for Zooming the Movies by Thomas E. Squires. 1991. A Hydra base in a snowy landscape. A man enters a bunker and removes a red book marked with a black star. A technician raises a cylindrical chamber, revealing Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. Bucky is secured in a chair, a mechanical device on either side of his head, causing him to howl in pain. The following exchange is in Russian.
Longing, rusted, 17, daybreak, furnace, 9, benign, homecoming, 1, freight car. Good morning, soldier.
Ready to comply.
I have a mission for you. Sanction and extract. No witnesses.
Night. A car drives down a dirt road alone. The Winter Soldier waits at the side of the road on his motorcycle. As the car passes, the Winter Soldier follows. He comes alongside the car and disables it. It slams into a tree. The Winter Soldier brings the motorcycle back around and climbs off. He walks to the car trunk and rips it open, revealing a silver case containing several blue packets, recreations of the Super Soldier Serum. Back at the Hydra base.
Well done, soldier.
Lagos, Nigeria, present day. Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, adds sugar to a cup and stirs it. She looks around.
All right. What do you see?
Standard beat cops, small station. Quiet street. It's a good target.
There's an ATM in the south corner, which means
Cameras.
both cross streets are one way.
So, compromised escape routes.
Means our guy doesn't care about being seen. He isn't afraid to make a mess on the way out. See that Range Rover halfway up the block?
Yeah, the red one? It's cute.
It's also bulletproof, which means private security, which means more guns, which means more headaches for somebody. Probably us.
You guys know I can move things with my mind, right?
Looking over your shoulder needs to become second nature.
Anybody ever tell you you're a little paranoid?
Not to my face. Why? Did you hear something?
Eyes on target, folks. It's the best lead we've had on Rumlow in 6 months. I don't want to lose him.
If you see us coming, that won't be a problem. He kind of hates us.
A garbage truck pushes its way through traffic with no regard to pedestrians or other vehicles.
Sam, see that garbage truck? Tag it.
From the back of Sam's Falcon jetpack, a small drone launches and flies down to scan the garbage truck.
Give me X-ray.
On the drone's readout, weight analysis. Cargo weight, 13,825 kilograms.
That truck's loaded for max weight, and the driver's armed.
It's a battering ram.
Go, now.
What?
He's not hitting the police station.
At the Institute for Infectious Diseases, a man sits in the guard station. He looks over as the garbage truck comes towards the gate. The driver jumps out and the truck slams into the guard station, flipping end over end. 2 trucks rush into the compound through the newly made hole. Soldiers in black armor emerge from the trucks, firing their rifles around the courtyard. 4 soldiers fire gas canisters into the building. Soldiers wearing gas masks enter. Cap arrives and takes out several of the soldiers.
Body armor, AR-15s. I make 7 hostiles.
Sam flies in and up to a rooftop, spinning and using his wings to block gunfire. He takes out 2 soldiers.
I make 5.
Wanda arrives and flies over the rooftop and into the courtyard, blocking fire with her powers. She takes control of 1 soldier and lifts him upward.
Sam!
Sam glides down from the rooftop, catching the soldier on one of his wings.
4.
Sam's drone flies by, scanning the inside of the building.
Rumlo's on the 3rd floor.
Wanda, just like we practiced.
What about the gas?
Get it out.
Wanda uses her powers to lift Steve up and through the window. He grabs the soldier and pulls off their gas mask. Inside, Rumlow, aka Crossbones, uses an attachment to his suit to punch down the door. He knocks aside a technician and enters a room with a vial labeled Biohazard.
Pack it up.
In another area, Steve is behind a pillar evading gunfire. He throws his shield and it bounces off the soldier and back to him. Meanwhile, Wanda uses her powers to remove the gas from the building. Sam exchanges fire with several soldiers. Rumlow walks outside onto a balcony and surveys the havoc Steve's team has created.
He's here.
Inside the building, Steve sees the vial missing.
Rumlow has the biological weapon.
Natasha rides in on a motorcycle.
I'm on it.
Natasha jumps off the motorcycle and it skids towards a soldier, taking him out. She runs forward, taking out soldiers through hand-to-hand combat and with her widow's bite cuffs. Rumlow comes up behind her and grabs her collar, dragging her onto a car. She fights back and zaps his neck. No response.
Don't look like that no more.
Rumlow throws her through the roof hatch into an armored vehicle, drops in a grenade, and shuts the hatch.
Fire in the hole.
No!
Natasha takes out the soldiers inside, then grabs one to shield herself from the grenade. The doors blow open and she's thrown out. She coughs, but is alive. Steve runs out onto the balcony and spots Rumlow aiming a mounted grenade launcher. The grenade slams into Steve's shield and he is thrown back inside. Steve scrambles to his feet as Rumlow fires 2 more times, throwing him out a window, onto a truck, and finally the ground. Steve struggles and gets his legs under him.
Sam, he's in an AFV heading north.
Inside the AFV, Rumlow secures the biological weapon and hands it to a soldier.
Take this to the airstrip. We're not going to outrun them. Lose the truck.
The truck crashes into a nearby structure and Rumlow and the soldiers emerge.
Where are they going to meet us?
I'm not.
Sam lands on the roof of a structure. He scans the area with his goggles.
I got 4. They're splitting up.
Natasha rides through the crowd back on her motorcycle. She abandons again and runs across the hood of cars in pursuit.
I got 2 on the left.
Steve also runs across cars. He spots a vest in the middle of a crowd.
They ditched their gear. It's a shell game now. One of them has the payload.
Someone throws a bomb at Steve. It sticks on his shield. Steve throws it in the air and the bomb detonates safely away from citizens. Rumlow comes up behind Steve and punches him in the back.
There you are, you son of a bitch. I've been waiting for this.
Meanwhile, Sam chases the other mercenaries. Sam flies up and takes out his 2, then searches their bags for the payload.
He doesn't have it. It's empty.
Natasha chases the soldiers through the crowd.
Out of my way!
She tackles one and engages him in combat. When the other soldier arrives, she hurls a basket at him to distract him. She uses her skills to fight and ends up face to face with one soldier. They point their guns at each other. A tense moment passes. The other soldier produces the vial.
Drop it, or I'll drop this. Drop it.
He'll do it.
Sam's drone descends and fires at the soldier with the vial. He drops, and in the moment of distraction, Natasha fires at the other soldier, then catches the falling vial.
Hey, let's secure. Thanks, Sam.
Don't thank me.
I'm not thanking that thing.
His name is Redwing.
Still not thanking it.
He's cute. Go ahead, pet him.
Steve and Rumlow continue to fight, neither one seeming to have the upper hand.
Come on.
Rumlow pins Steve to a building and extends a blade from one of his gauntlets.
This is for dropping a building on my face.
Steve grabs Rumlow's arm and pulls the gauntlet off, only for Rumlow to reveal another knife, but Steve bests him. Defeated, on his knees, Rumlow removes his mask, revealing a scarred and battered face.
I think I look pretty good, all things considered.
Who's your buyer?
You know, he knew you. Your pal, your buddy, your Bucky.
What did you say?
He remembered you. I was there. He got all weepy about it, so they put his brain back in a blender. He wanted you to know something. He said to me, please tell Rogers, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And you're coming with me.
Rumlow activates his bomb vest, and Steve flinches as Rumlow's armor ignites. Wanda keeps the blast contained around Rumlow, who grimaces in agony. She lifts him into the air before she loses control, and the explosion finally blossoms, devastating entire floors of a nearby office building.
Oh my. Sam, we need fire and rescue on the south side of the building. We got to get up there.
Elsewhere, in a finally appointed living room, soft piano music is playing. Tony Stark's mother, Maria, sits playing at a piano. A young Tony lies on the couch.
I to remember the kind of September when grass was green.
She stops singing as Howard Stark walks in, but continues playing.
Wake up, dear, and say goodbye to your father.
Tony, wearing a Santa hat, staggers to his feet.
Who's the homeless person on the couch? Haha.
This is why I love coming home for Christmas, right before you leave town.
Be nice, dear. He's studying abroad.
Really? Which broad? What's her name?
Candace.
Howard pulls off Tony's hat.
Do me a favor. Try not to burn the house down before Monday.
Okay, so it's Monday. That is good to know. I will plan my toga party accordingly. Where are you going?
Your father's flying us to the Bahamas for a little getaway.
We might have to make a quick stop.
At the Pentagon, right? Don't worry. You're going to love the holiday menu at the commissary.
Maria stops playing.
You know, they say sarcasm is a metric for potential. If that's true, you'll be a great man someday. I'll get the bags.
He walks out of the room and Maria stands.
He does miss you when you're not here. And frankly, you're going to miss us. Because this is the last time we're all going to be together. You know what's about to happen. Say something. If you don't, you'll regret it.
Howard walks back in.
I love you, Dad. And I know you did the best you could.
Maria leans in to kiss Tony on the cheek, and when she leans back, an older Tony Stark appears standing in the background. Howard and Maria walk out.
That's how I wish it happened.
Tony holds a pair of glasses.
Binarily augmented retro framing, or BARF. God, I gotta work on that acronym. An extremely costly method of hijacking the hippocampus to clear traumatic memories. Huh.
He blows on a candle and everything around him shimmers, then starts to dissolve. It's a hologram.
Doesn't change the fact that they never made it to the airport, or all the things I did to avoid processing my grief. But plus $611 million for my little therapeutic experiment. No one in their right mind would have ever funded it.
Tony stands on a stage in front of a large crowd. A sign reads, MIT Alumni Honors, Tony Stark.
Help me out. What's the MIT mission statement? To generate, disseminate, and preserve knowledge and work with others to bring it to bear on the world's great challenges. Well, you are the others. And quiet as it's kept, the challenges facing you are the greatest mankind's ever known. Plus, most of you are broke. Oh, I'm sorry. Rather, you were. As of this moment, every student has been made an equal recipient of the inaugural September Foundation grant, as in all of your projects have just been approved and funded. No strings, no taxes. Just reframe the future. Starting now.
The teleprompter above the audience reads, Now I would like to introduce the head of the foundation, Pepper Potts.
Go break some eggs.
Tony exits the stage.
Wow, that took my breath away. Oh, Tony, so generous, so much money. Wow. Out of curiosity, will any portion of that grant be made available to faculty? I know, ooh, gross, but hear me out. I got this killer idea for a self-cooking hot dog, basically chemical detonator embedded.
Restrooms this way, yeah?
Yeah, embedded in the meat shaft.
Mr. Stark, I'm so sorry about the teleprompter. I didn't know Mrs. Potts had canceled. They didn't have time to fix it.
It's fine. I'll be right back.
We'll catch up later.
Tony steps into a quiet corridor. He loiters by the men's room, then glances back at the stage door before walking towards the elevator. A woman in sober clothes also stands waiting. Tony stops and turns his back to the wall.
That was nice. What you did for those young people.
They deserve it. Plus, it helps ease my conscience.
They say there's a correlation between generosity and guilt. But if you've got the money, break as many eggs as you like, right?
He narrows his eyes and half smiles, then turns to face the elevator. He looks surprised to find the button unlit and pushes it himself.
Are you going up?
I'm right where I want to be.
She digs in her handbag. Tony grabs her wrist.
Okay, hey. Sorry, it's an occupational hazard.
I work for the State Department, Human Resources. I know it's boring, but it enabled me to raise a son. I'm very proud of what he grew up to be.
She shoves a photo at him.
His name was Charlie Spencer. You murdered him in Sokovia. Not that it matters to you in the least. You think you fight for us? Just fight for yourself. Who's going to avenge my son, Stark? He's dead, and I blame you.
She turns and walks away, leaving Tony standing by the elevator with a grim frown. At the Avengers compound, a news report plays.
11 Wakandans were among those killed during a confrontation between the Avengers and a group of mercenaries in Lagos, Nigeria last month. The traditionally reclusive Wakandans were on an outreach mission in Lagos when the attack occurred.
Our people's blood is spilled on foreign soil, not only because the actions of criminals, but by the indifference of those pledged to stop them. Victory at the expense of the innocent is no victory at all.
The Wakandan king went on to...
Steve mutes his computer, but sound drifts toward him from another room.
They are operating outside and above international law, because that's the reality if we don't respond to acts like these.
Wanda sits on her bed, watching another news program on her TV.
What legal authority does an enhanced individual like Wanda Maximoff have to operate in Nigeria?
The TV turns off. Steve sets the remote down and leans on the doorframe.
It's my fault.
It's not true.
Turn the TV back on. They're being very specific.
I should have clocked that bomb vest long before you had to deal with it. Rumlow said Bucky, and all of a sudden I was a 16-year-old kid again in Brooklyn. And people died. It's on me.
On both of us.
This job, we try to save as many people as we can. Sometimes that doesn't mean everybody. But if we can't find a way to live with that, next time, maybe nobody gets saved.
Vision materializes through the wall.
Fish, we talked about this.
Yes, but the door was open and I assumed that it, well...
He gestures at the door and stops.
Captain Rogers wished to know when Mr. Stark was arriving.
Thank you. We'll be right down.
I'll use the door. Oh, and apparently he's brought a guest.
We know who it is?
The Secretary of State.
Secretary of State Thaddeus Ross, aka Thunderbolt Ross, stands at the head of a table. James Rhodes, Natasha, Steve, Tony, Sam, Vision, and Wanda are gathered around.
5 years ago, I had a heart attack. I dropped right in the middle of my backswing. Turned out it was the best round of my life because after 13 hours of surgery and a triple bypass, I found something 40 years in the Army had never taught me: perspective. The world owes the Avengers an unpayable debt. You have fought for us, protected us, risked your lives. But while a great many people see you as heroes, there are some who would prefer the word vigilantes.
What word would you use, Mr. Secretary?
How about dangerous? What would you call a group of US-based enhanced individuals who routinely ignore sovereign borders and inflict their will wherever they choose, and who frankly seem unconcerned about what they leave behind?
Ross activates a screen behind him. News footage from past Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. missions flash on the screens.
New York.
A Chitauri Leviathan, terrified citizens, a soldier firing a gun. The Hulk smashes into a building and sends a dust cloud to engulf the camera.
Washington, D.C.
The three Insight helicarriers firing on each other. The destroyed Triskelion, a helicarrier crashing into the Potomac and throwing up a massive wave engulfing citizens.
Sokovia.
Terrified citizens running, the city rising, a building falling over.
Lagos.
The burning building, paramedics moving a body, a dead girl. Wanda is particularly affected by the footage from Lagos.
Okay, that's enough.
Secretary Ross nods to an aide, and the images disappear.
The past 4 years, you've operated with unlimited power and no supervision. That's an arrangement the governments of the world can no longer tolerate. But I think we have a solution.
An aide hands him a thick book, which Ross slides across the table to Wanda. She picks it up, then slides it to Rhodey.
The Sokovia Accord, approved by 117 countries. It states that the Avengers shall no longer be a private organization. Instead, they'll operate under the supervision of a United Nations panel only when and if that panel deems it necessary.
The Avengers were formed to make the world a safer place. I feel we've done that.
Tell me, Captain, do you know where Thor and Banner are right now? If I misplaced a couple of 30 megaton nukes, you can bet there'd be consequences. Compromise, reassurance. That's how this world works. Believe me, this is the middle ground.
So there are contingencies.
3 days from now, the UN meets in Vienna to ratify the accords. Talk it over.
What if we come to a decision you don't like?
Then you retire.
Natasha stifles a smile. Cleveland. Vasily Karpov sits eating at the table in a cluttered house. He hears the sound of something crashing outside and peers through drawn blinds. Outside, a man stands by his car, the front end crumpled against Karpov's car.
Hello? Is this your car out front? I jumped the curb.
Karpov eyes his gun nearby.
Maybe we could take care of it ourselves? If you want to call the cops, that's okay too, I guess.
No cops.
Thank you.
Karpov slides a heavy-duty lock and opens the door. The man rushes in and punches him. Later, the man uses a sledgehammer to smash a hole in the wall. He retrieves a large box from inside the hole and tips the contents onto a table. Karpov hangs upside down, tied to pipes in his basement. On the table are various documents and the red book with a star on the cover. The man holds the red book for a moment, then opens a file. Inside is a photo of Karpov in his military uniform and beret.
Kept your looks, Colonel. Congratulations.
Karpov's head is in a sink, quickly filling with water.
Mission report. December 16th, 1991.
Who are you?
My name is Zemo. I will repeat my question. Mission report, December 16th, 1991.
How did you find me?
When S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, Black Widow released Hydra's files to the public. Millions of pages, much of it encrypted, not easy to decipher. But I have experience and patience. A man can do anything if he has those.
What do you want?
Mission report, December 16th, 1991.
Go to hell.
Zemo goes to lean on the sink as water continues to flow into it. He turns off the tap and studies Karpov's upside-down face.
Hydra deserves its place on the ash heap. So, your death would not bother me. But I'd have to use this book and other bloodier methods to find what I need. I don't look forward to that. You don't be dying for your pride.
Zemo stares at Karpov and nods resignedly. He turns the tap back on. The water's up to Karpov's eyes. Zemo watches the water level rise.
Hail, Hydra.
Holding the red book, Zemo walks away. Karpov twitches and struggles in his bindings as the water rises over his nostrils. The Avengers are gathered at headquarters. Steve sits studying the Accords while Rhodey and Sam argue behind him.
Secretary Ross has a Congressional Medal of Honor, which is more than you have.
So let's say we agree to this thing. How long is it going to be before they LoJack us like a bunch of common criminals?
117 countries want to sign this. 117, Sam. And you're just like, no, that's cool. We got it.
How long are you going to play both sides?
I have an equation.
Oh, this will clear it up.
In the 8 years since Mr. Stark announced himself as Iron Man, the number of known enhanced persons has grown exponentially. And during the same period, the number of potentially world-ending events has risen at a commensurate rate.
Are you saying it's our fault?
I'm saying there may be a causality. Our very strength invites challenge. Challenge incites conflict. Conflict breeds catastrophe. Oversight is not an idea that can be dismissed out of hand.
Boom.
Tony lies on the couch, one hand over his face.
Tony, you're being uncharacteristically non-hyperverbal.
It's because he's already made up his mind.
Oh, you know me so well.
Tony gets up and winces, rubbing the back of his head.
Actually, I'm nursing an electromagnetic headache.
He walks to the kitchen and grabs a mug.
That's what's going on, Cap. It's just pain. It's discomfort. Who's putting coffee grounds in the disposal? Am I running a bed and breakfast for a biker gang?
He puts his phone in a basket and taps it. The phone projects an image of a smiling young man. He looks down, then back up, and pretends to notice the picture for the first time.
Oh, that's Charles Spencer. By the way, he's a great kid, computer engineering degree, 3.6 GPA. Had a floor-level gig at Intel planned for the fall, but first he wanted to put a few miles on his soul before he packed it behind a desk. See the world, maybe be of service. Charlie didn't want to go to Vegas or Fort Lauderdale, which is what I would do. He didn't go to Paris or Amsterdam, which sounds fun. He decided to spend his summer building sustainable housing for the poor. Guess where? Sokovia.
Tony's monologue has the intended effect.
He wanted to make a difference, I suppose. I mean, we won't know because we dropped a building on him while we were kicking ass. There's no decision-making process here. We need to be put in check. Whatever form that takes, I'm game. If we can't accept limitations, if we're boundaryless, we're no better than the bad guys.
Tony, someone dies on your watch, you don't give up.
Who said we're giving up?
We are if we're not taking responsibility for our actions. This document just shifts the blames.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Steve. That's dangerously arrogant. This is the United Nations we're talking about. It's not the World Security Council. It's not SHIELD. It's not Hydra.
No, but it's run by people with agendas, and agendas change.
That's good. That's why I'm here. When I realized that my weapons were capable of doing in the wrong hands, I shut it down and stopped manufacturing.
Tony, you chose to do that. We signed this, we surrender our right to choose. What if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go? What if there is somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? Maybe we're not perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
If we don't do this now, it's going to be done to us later. That's the fact. That won't be pretty.
Laura.
Apologies for yours being difficult. You're saying they'll.
We would protect you.
Maybe Tony's right. If we have one hand on the wheel, we can still steer. If we take it off.
Aren't you the same woman who told the government to kiss her ass a few years ago?
I'm reading the terrain. We've made some very public mistakes. We need to win their trust back.
Focus up. I'm sorry. Did I just mishear you, or did you agree with me?
Oh, I want to take it back now.
No. You can't retract it. Thank you. Unprecedented. Okay, case closed. I win.
Steve's phone buzzes. A text message reads, "She's gone in her sleep."
I have to go.
Steve gets up sharply, drops the Accords on the coffee table, and goes downstairs. He stops at the bottom of the stairs, leans against the banister, and bows his head. London, the cathedral packed with mourners. The choir sings. Steve is one of 6 pallbearers carrying a coffin draped with the Union Jack. His eyes are red. He's been crying. At the altar, a candle burns by a framed photograph of Peggy Carter in a military uniform. The label reads, Margaret Peggy Carter.
And now I would like to invite Sharon Carter to come up and say a few words.
Steve sits beside Sam in a pew at the front. Sam nudges Steve. He looks up to see Sharon, who glances at Steve and takes a breath.
Margaret Carter was known to most as a founder of SHIELD, but I just knew her as Aunt Peggy. She had a photograph in her office, Aunt Peggy standing next to JFK. As a kid, that was pretty cool, but it was a lot to live up to, which is why I never told anyone that we were related.
She looks directly at Steve.
I asked her once how she managed to master diplomacy and espionage in a time when no one wanted to see a woman succeed at either. And she said, compromise where you can, but where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something is wrong, that something wrong is something right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree, look them in the eye, and say no. You move.
Later, Steve stands alone in the aisle, still dressed in black. Natasha walks to him.
When I came out of the ice, thought everyone I had known was gone. Then I found out she was alive. I was just lucky to have her.
She had you back too.
Who else signed?
Tony, Rhodey, Vision.
Clint?
Says he's retired.
Wanda?
TBD. I'm off to Vienna for the signing of the Accords. There's plenty of room on the jet. Just because it's the path of least resistance doesn't mean it's the wrong path. Staying together is more important than how we stay together.
What are we giving up to do it? I'm sorry, Nat. I can't sign.
I know.
And what are you doing here?
I didn't want you to be alone. Come here.
She pulls him in for a hug. Vienna, the United Nations, a modern complex of interestingly shaped high-rise buildings.
At a special United Nations conference, 117 countries have come together to ratify the Sokovia Accords.
T'Challa wears a sharp suit and stands looking through a glass wall.
Excuse me, Miss Romanov?
Yes?
These need your signature. Thank you.
Thanks.
I suppose neither of us is used to the spotlight.
Oh, well, it's not always so flattering.
You seem to be doing all right so far. Considering your last trip to Capitol Hill, I wouldn't think you would be particularly comfortable in this company.
Well, I'm not.
That alone makes me glad you're here, Miss Romanov.
Why, you don't approve of all this?
The Accords, yes. The politics, not really. 2 people in a room can get more done than 100.
Unless you need to move a piano.
Father.
Son, Miss Romanov.
King T'Chaka, please allow me to apologize for what happened in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to all of this. I'm sad to hear that Captain Rogers will not be joining us today.
Yes, so am I.
If everyone could please be seated, the assembly is now in session.
That is the future calling. Such is pleasure.
Thank you.
Natasha goes.
For a man who disapproves of diplomacy, you're getting quite good at it.
I'm happy, Father.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At the podium window, King T'Chaka addresses the room.
When stolen Wakandan vibranium was used to make a terrible weapon, we in Wakanda were forced to question our legacy. Those men and women killed in Nigeria were part of a goodwill mission from a country too long in the shadows. We will not, however, let misfortune drive us back. We will fight to improve the world we wish to join. I am grateful, the Avengers, for supporting this initiative.
T'Challa spots something outside.
Wakanda is proud to extend its hand into peace.
Everybody get down!
An enormous explosion goes off between 2 buildings and destroys the conference hall. T'Challa finds his father lying on the floor with his eyes closed. He grabs his father's wrist and feels for a pulse, but his father lies still. Devastated, T'Challa lies across his father. He lifts him up and rocks him in his arms. In a hotel.
My mom tried to talk me out of enlisting, but not Aunt Peggy. She bought me my first thigh holster.
Very practical.
And stylish.
Sharon and Steve wait by an elevator. They stand facing each other.
The IA has you stationed over here now?
In Berlin, Joint Terrorism Task Force.
Right. Sounds fun.
I know, right?
I've been meaning to ask you, when you were spying on me from across the hall,
You mean when I was doing my job?
did Peggy know?
She kept so many secrets. I didn't want her to have one from you.
The elevator arrives.
Thanks for walking me back.
Sure.
Steve opens his mouth to speak and Sharon perks up.
Steve, there's something you got to see.
In Sharon's suite, she paces on the phone while Steve and Sam watch coverage of the explosion.
A bomb hidden in a news van.
Who's coordinating?
Ripped through the UN building in Vienna.
Good, they're solid. Forensics?
More than 70 people have been injured. At least 12 are dead, including Wakanda's King T'Chaka. Officials have released a video of a suspect who they have identified as James Buchanan Barnes, the Winter Soldier, the infamous Hydra agent linked to numerous acts of terrorism and political assassinations.
I have to go to work.
At the ruined UN building, fire crews hose down the buildings. A red and white medical chopper flies overhead.
Call MI6, see if we can get microforensics to hurry this up. We need this whole team in here in 2 hours or it's not worth it.
Sharon strides through with a man in a green jumpsuit. They pass T'Challa, who sits on a bench looking stunned. Natasha sits on the next bench.
I'm very sorry.
He glances at her. He's holding an ornate silver ring, which he toys with between his fingers.
In my culture, death is not the end. It is more of a stepping off point. You reach out with both hands, and Bast and Skemet, they lead you into the green belt where you can run forever.
That sounds very peaceful.
My father thought so. I am not my father.
He puts the ring on his finger.
T'Challa, task force will decide who brings in Barnes.
Don't bother, Miss Romanoff. I'll kill him myself.
T'Challa walks away. Steve phones Natasha. He's standing on the street in a cap and dark glasses.
Yeah?
You all right?
Yeah, thanks. I got lucky. I know how much Barnes means to you. I really do. Stay home. You'll only make this worse. For all of us, please.
Are you saying you'll arrest me?
No. Someone will if you interfere. That's how it works now.
If he's this far gone, Nat, I should be the one to bring him in.
Why?
Because I'm the one least likely to die trying.
Steve ends the call.
Shit.
Steve approaches Sam sitting at the counter of a coffee shop. Sam wears a brown baseball cap and sunglasses.
She tell you to stay out of it?
You might have a point. I'm sorry.
Might have a point.
Go back. The lines are all over the place. I'm missing a line, clearly. Go back from she tell you to stay out of it.
She tell you to stay out of it? Might have a point.
He'd do it for me.
1945, maybe. I just wanted to make sure we considered all our options. The people that shoot at you usually wind up shooting at me.
Sharon arrives by Steve.
Tips have been pouring in quietly since that footage went public. Everyone thinks the Winter Soldier goes to their gym. Most of it's noise, except for this. My boss expects a briefing pretty much now, so that's all the head start you're going to get.
You slide Steve a file.
Thank you.
And you're going to have to hurry. We have orders to shoot on site.
Elsewhere, Zemo sits in a hotel room. He reads from Karpov's red book.
Favoreshimi Naradinu. Favoreshimi Naradinu. Odin. Odin. Grusavoy Wagen. Grusavoy Wagen.
A knock at the door. Zemo puts the book in a drawer and goes to the door. He reaches for a gun tucked in the back of his trousers and cocks it. In German,
Muller, I have your breakfast.
I could smell it before I opened the door. Thank you.
Side of bacon and black coffee. Again. I can make you something different if you like.
It's okay. This is wonderful.
I'll just put this on your tip.
No, it's okay. I can manage. Thank you, Mrs. Lieber.
Zemo closes the door. In the room is a large device with a cage at the bottom and a drum of copper wire on top. In Bucharest, Bucky, in civvies, is at a fruit stand. He buys some plums. In Romanian,
How are they? Are they good? Hey, give me 6, thank you.
in a black cap and casual jacket, Bucky walks along, scanning around. Across the street, he spots a 20-something vendor at a newsstand watching him. Bucky glances away, then looks back at the vendor, who's still watching him. The vendor runs from his kiosk. Bucky goes over and picks up a paper. On the front page, there are surveillance photos of a man, and the headline describes the Winter Soldier's crime in Romanian. Bucky glances around tensely. In his dark blue armored suit with his shield on his arm, Steve walks through a small apartment. A mattress with disheveled covers and various bits of cheap-looking furniture adorn the room. Steve finds a notebook on top of the fridge. He picks it up and opens it. There are tabs of varying colors sticking out from amongst the pages.
Heads up, Cap. German special forces approaching from the south.
Understood.
Bucky stands behind Steve. Steve slowly turns around to face him.
Do you know me?
About you in a museum.
They've set the perimeter.
I know you're nervous. You have plenty of reason to be. But you're lying.
I wasn't in Vienna. I don't do that anymore.
They're entering the building.
Well, the people who think you did are coming here now, and they're not planning on taking you alive.
Oh, that's smart. Good strategy.
They're on the roof. I'm compromised.
Armed soldiers run up the stairs.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Buck.
Outside the door, a soldier readies a battering ram.
It always ends in a fight.
5 seconds.
You pulled me from the river. Why?
I don't know.
3 seconds.
Yes, you do.
Breach, breach, breach.
A grenade crashes through the window. Bucky kicks it to Steve and he smothers it with his shield. The soldiers shout in German.
Shut the door!
The soldier slams the battering ram against the door. Bucky shields himself with his mattress against an attack from the window. He blocks the door with the table as soldiers swing in on cables. Steve pulls the rug from under a policeman, sending him flying. Bucky slams another policeman into the wall.
Buck, stop! You're gonna kill someone!
Bucky slams Steve down and punches a hole in the floor.
I'm not gonna kill anyone.
Bucky grabs a backpack from under the floorboards and throws it out the window. Bucky and Steve get behind Steve's shield to avoid gunfire. Bucky shoves Steve and he knocks a soldier over. Bucky holds up his metal hand and repels bullets, then slams a cop into some shelves. Bucky picks up a large cement brick and slams it into an advancing soldier. Steve fights a soldier on the balcony. Another one shoots around the door outside. Bucky punches through the wall beside the door. He lays into the soldiers. One descends through a skylight on a zip wire. Bucky grabs the soldier's gun and slams him into the wall. Bucky bashes a couple of soldiers with a battering ram. More of the Special Forces team hurry up the stairwell. Bucky jumps on the zip line and swings down a level. In German,
Suspect has broken containment. He's headed down the east stairwell.
Steve grabs the radio and crushes it. Steve jumps down a level as Bucky keeps punching the soldiers. Bucky tosses one of them over the railing and Steve catches him.
Come on, man.
Steve throws the soldier up onto the landing. Bucky breaks a banister and swings down on it. Steve hurls the soldier over his shoulders. Bucky lays into yet more soldiers and takes them out. One aims at Bucky and Steve knocks the gun from his hands with a shield, which sticks in the wall. Bucky leaps down the stairwell and catches onto a railing. Steve pulls his shield out of the wall. Bucky climbs up, then runs along a corridor and leaps off a balcony. He tumbles onto the lower roof of the neighboring building and finds his backpack. He picks it up and runs. A muscular figure clad entirely in black, the Black Panther, slams into Bucky from behind, knocking him down. The figure has a full face mask with pointed ears. He extends his fingers and sharp claws pop out. He attacks Bucky with sweeping kicks and slashes. Bucky fights back, but is kicked into a wall. Black Panther swipes his claws and spins gracefully. Bucky narrowly avoids being slashed. He holds up a metal bar to protect himself. Steve looks down at them as Falcon swoops from the sky.
Sam, southwest rooftop.
Who the hell's the other guy?
About to find out.
Steve leaps from the balcony down onto the neighboring building as a chopper flies up. Black Panther lunges at Bucky with his claws, but Bucky grabs his wrists. A soldier fires a machine gun from the chopper. The ammo bounces off Black Panther's vibranium suit.
Sam?
Got him.
Sam flies down and shoves the copper off course, then swoops down towards street level. Bucky breaks free from his attacker, slings his bag on his back, runs and jumps down a level. Black Panther slides down the wall using his claws for traction. Bucky lands at street level and the chase continues. Steve follows and lands, rolling along the ground. Gunfire from the chopper tears up the sidewalk. Bucky jumps down through an opening and lands in an underpass, running through traffic. Black Panther and Captain America drop down and chase after Bucky. The three heroes easily outrun most cars on the road. A Special Forces vehicle pursues them.
Run down!
The vehicle closes in, blue lights flashing. Steve leaps onto the vehicle and splinters the windshield. The driver stops. Steve yanks him from the vehicle and kicks the windshield out, then drives off. Bucky runs over the top of a speeding car, outpacing it. Black Panther is a few cars behind, keeping pace with Bucky. He leaps on the back of the 4x4 that Steve's driving. Steve swerves from side to side, trying to throw him off.
Sam, I can't shake this guy.
Right behind you.
Several police cars join the chase. Steve sideswipes another car and drives on. Up ahead, Bucky reaches a fork in the road and faces oncoming traffic. He leaps over a barrier. Steve drives through the barrier. A motorbike speeds towards Bucky. Bucky grabs the handlebar and spins the bike around in midair, throwing the rider off. Bucky gets on the bike and rides away, sending cars careening out of the way. Steve keeps on Bucky's tail with Black Panther holding on to the back of the 4x4. They all rocket through another underpass. Slam flies into the underpass. Black Panther leaps off the front of the 4x4 onto Bucky's motorbike. Bucky flings him over his head and the bike leans down on its side. Bucky kicks his assailant away, straightens up, and rides on. Black Panther catches a ride on Falcon's leg. Sam tries to kick Black Panther off. Bucky throws a sticky bomb and blows the roof off at the end of the underpass, bringing down tons of rubble. Black Panther leaps off from Falcon and throws Bucky off the motorbike. Steve swerves the 4x4 through the rubble, leaps out, and pulls Black Panther away from Bucky. Steve stands facing the sleek and muscular Black Panther. Armed police arrive and surround them, guns raised. War Machine lands with a heavy thud and raises both repulsors at the trio.
Stand down, now.
Cap puts his shield on his back.
Congratulations, Cap. You're a criminal.
Police move in and force Bucky to his knees. Black Panther raises his hands. Sam is ushered toward the group at gunpoint. A cop moves Steve's arms behind his back. Black Panther retracts his claws and pulls off his mask, revealing his face. It's T'Challa.
Your Highness.
Bucky is hauled flat on the ground. Back at Avengers HQ, Vision follows a recipe.
A pinch of paprika. A pinch?
He adds a pinch. Wanda strolls in.
Is that paprikash?
I thought it might lift your spirits.
She chuckles and stirs the ingredients in the pan with a spoon. She lifts the spoon to her lips, blows, and has a taste. She smiles.
Spirits lifted.
In my defense, I haven't actually ever eaten anything before, so...
May I?
Please. No one dislikes you, Wanda.
Thanks.
You're welcome. No, it's an involuntary response in their amygdala. They can't help but be afraid of you. Well, my amygdala is synthetic, so...
I used to think of myself one way, but after this...
Wanda's fingers weave her red magic in the air.
I am something else. I'm still me, I think, but that's not what everyone else sees.
Vision touches the Mind Stone in his forehead.
Do you know, I don't know what this is. Not really. I know it's not of this world, that it powered Loki's staff, gave you your abilities, but its true nature is a mystery, and yet it's part of me.
Are you afraid of it?
I wish to understand it. The more I do, the less it controls me. One day, who knows, I may even control it.
Wanda looks at the food.
I don't know what's in this, but it is not paprika. I'm gonna go to the store. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Alternatively, we could order pizza.
Vision blocks her
You're not
way.
letting me leave.
He blocks her way.
It is a question of safety.
I can protect myself.
Well, not yours. Mr. Stark would like to avoid the possibility of another public incident until the Accords are on a more secure foundation.
And what do you want?
For people to see you as I do.
Berlin, day. Traffic rolls around the Victory Column. A police convoy drives beside the River Spree. Amidst the convoy is a gray armored truck. Inside, Bucky wears restraints inside a prison pod. Two armed guards sit on the other side of the glass-walled pod. A police motorbike stops traffic, and a van driver looks affronted. The convoy turns a corner onto a bridge across the river. In an SUV, T'Challa sits in front of Steve, who sits in front of Sam.
So, you like cats?
Sam.
What? Dude shows up dressed like a cat and you don't want to show no more?
Your suit. It's vibranium.
Black Panther has been protector of Wakanda for generations. A mantle passed from warrior to warrior. And now, because your friend murdered my father, I also wear the mantle of king. So, I ask you, as both warrior and king, how long do you think you can keep your friend safe from me?
Steve is stone-faced as the convoy heads underground. In a light gray walled bunker, Bucky's pod is carried away by a forklift. Nearby, Steve gets out of the SUV and glances across at Bucky, who doesn't spot him. With Sam and T'Challa, Steve approaches Sharon, who's standing with a diminutive, gray-haired man.
What's gonna happen to him?
Same thing that ought to happen to you. Psychological evaluation and extradition.
This is Everett Ross, Deputy Task Force Commander.
What about our lawyer?
Lawyer, that's funny. See, their weapons are placed in lockup. Oh, we'll write you a receipt.
I better not look out the window and see anybody flying around in that.
As they go, Steve looks back and catches Bucky's eye. On a covered skywalk,
You'll be provided with an office instead of a cell. Now, do me a favor, stay in it.
I don't intend on going anywhere.
The record, this is what making things worse looks like.
He's alive.
Tony paces on a cell phone.
No, Romania was not Accords sanctioned. And Colonel Rhodes is supervising cleanup.
Trying not to break anything while we fix this.
Consequences? You bet there'll be consequences. Obviously, you can quote me on that, because I just said it. Anything else? Thank you, sir.
He hangs up.
Consequences.
Secretary Ross wants you both prosecuted. Had to give him something.
I'm not getting that shield back, am I?
Technically, it's government property. Wings too.
That's cold.
Warmer than jail.
At a power station, the van, with the driver who was affronted by the police convoy, pulls up by the open gate. Scowling, and the driver puts the parking brake on and picks up a clipboard. In German,
This can't be right. What the hell?
in a secured chamber, a guard connects a pipe to Bucky's prison pod. The lights inside dim for a moment. Tony finds Steve in a glass-walled office overlooking the control room.
Hey, you want to see something cool? Pulled something from Dad's archives. Felt timely.
Tony shows him 2 pens and a black presentation box.
FDR signed the Lend-Lease bill with these in 1941. Provided support to the Allies when they needed it most.
Some would say it brought our country closer to war.
See, if not for these, you wouldn't be here. I'm trying to... What do you call it? That's an olive branch. Is that what you call it?
Is Pepper here? I didn't see her.
We're kinda... Well, not kinda.
Pregnant?
No, definitely not. We're taking a break. It's nobody's fault.
I'm so sorry, Tony. I didn't know.
A few years ago, I almost lost her. So I trashed all my suits. Then we had to mop up Hydra. Then Ultron. My fault. And then. I never stopped. Because the truth is, I don't want to stop. I don't want to lose her. Thought maybe the Accords would split the difference. In her defense, I'm a handful. Yet Dad was a pain in the ass, but he and Mom always made it work.
You know, I'm glad Howard got married. I only knew him when he was young and single.
Oh, really? You two knew each other? He never mentioned it. Maybe only 1,000 times. God, I hated you.
I don't mean to make things difficult.
I know, because you're a very polite person.
If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Sometimes I wish I could.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Sometimes
I want to punch you in your perfect teeth, but I don't want to see you gone. We need you, Cap. So far, nothing's happened that can't be undone if you sign. We can make the last 24 hours legit. Barnes gets transferred to an American Psych Center instead of a Wakandan prison.
Steve frowns thoughtfully and picks up one of the fountain pens. He stands up and paces, then turns to Tony.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but there would have to be safeguards.
Sure, once we put out the PR fire, those documents can be amended. I'd file a motion to have you and Wanda reinstated.
Wanda? What about Wanda?
She's fine. She's confined to the compound currently. Vision's keeping her company.
God, Tony, every time I think you see things the right way.
It's 100 acres with a lap pool. It's got a screening room. There's worse ways to protect people.
Protection? Is that how you see this? This isn't protection. It's internment, Tony.
She's not a U.S. citizen.
Oh, come on, Tony.
And they don't grant visas to weapons of mass destruction.
She's a kid.
Give me a break. I'm doing what has to be done. Stave off something worse.
Keep telling yourself that.
Steve puts the pen down.
Hate to break up the set.
He leaves the office and a rueful Tony watches Bucky on one of the control room screens. Below, the evaluator sits at a desk facing Bucky's pod. Inside, Bucky sits restrained.
Oh, Mr. Barnes. I've been sent by the United Nations to evaluate you. Do you mind if I sit? Your first name is James?
In an office with Sam and Steve.
The receipt for your gear.
Bird costume. Come on.
I didn't write it.
Sharon pushes a button which stops the restriction on the audio from Bucky's evaluation.
I'm not here to judge you. I just want to ask you a few questions. Do you know where you are, James? I can't help you if you don't talk to me, James.
Name is Bucky.
At the power station, the van driver honks and looks impatient watching the custodian hut's front door. In German,
Hello.
The custodian comes outside and the driver gets out of his van.
Hey, I have a big one for you.
He opens the van's back doors and removes a large wooden crate.
Okay. Here, just sign here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back at the UN bunker, Steve studies the blurry photograph of the man who bombed the Congress in Vienna.
Why would the task force release this photo to begin with?
Get the word out, involve as many eyes as we can.
Right, it's a good way to flush out a guy out of hiding. Set up a bomb, get your picture taken, get 7 billion people looking for the Winter Soldier.
You're saying someone framed him to find him.
Steve, we looked for the guy for 2 years and found nothing.
We didn't bomb the UN. Turns a lot of heads.
Yeah, but that doesn't guarantee that whoever framed him would get him. It guarantees that we would.
Sharon's gaze falls on the evaluator in the screen, her eyes narrow.
Yeah.
In the secure chamber.
Tell me, Bucky. You've seen a great deal, haven't you?
Bucky, we're not hearing you.
Want to talk about it?
You fear that if you open your mouth, the horrors might never stop. Don't worry.
Zemo gets a message on his screen. Message inbox 1. He touches it. Status, package delivered.
We only have to talk about one.
Back at the power station, the custodian opens the crate, finding Zemo's large device inside. He looks confused.
Hey, what is this?
Oh no.
The device erupts. A bubble of energy engulfs the power station and sparks fly. In the city, traffic lights fail. In the bunker, the lights go out.
Great. Come on, guys. Give me eyes on Barnes. Go.
Friday, get me the source of that outage.
Level 5, East Wing.
T'Challa spots Steve and Sam bolting in Bucky's pod.
What the hell is this?
Why don't we discuss your home? Not Romania, certainly not Brooklyn, no. I mean, your real home.
Zemo removes his glasses and walks toward Bucky, reading from a book by flashlight. Zemo speaks in Russian.
Lonely.
No.
Bucky's head snaps back. He's
Rusted.
What the hell is this? Stop.
17.
Bucky's metal arm trembles in its restraint.
Stop.
Daybreak.
Bucky rips free of his restraints.
Furnace 9.
Bucky pounds the inside of the pod.
The 9.
He punches harder.
Homecoming 1. Freight car.
Bucky batters the front of the pod with his metal fist and the glass screen flies clear. Zemo slowly rounds the pod with the book and the torch in hand. He stands before Bucky, who straightens, a dark frown on his face.
Soldier.
Ready to comply.
Mission report. December 16th, 1991.
Steve and Sam arrive outside the chamber. Red emergency lights flash all around. Many agents lie slumped on the floor, all of them out cold.
Help me! Help!
Steve finds Zemo in a heap inside the chamber. Cap grabs Zemo and shoves him against the wall.
Who are you? What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
As Sam enters, Bucky swings his fist, which smashes through the wall as Sam ducks. Bucky grabs him by the jaw and throws him at the open pod. Steve lurches into the fight and lands a punch which Bucky barely feels. Bucky kicks and punches Steve out of the chamber. A punch from Bucky goes through the elevator door. Steve blocks the next one, but the power of Bucky's fist sends Steve tumbling into the darkened elevator shaft. In the chamber, Sam comes around and spots Zemo looking down the elevator shaft.
The East Wing is compromised. I repeat, the East Wing is compromised.
Hey.
Zemo bolts. At the bottom of the shaft, Steve pushes himself off the floor. In the control room,
Evac all civilians. Give me a perimeter around the building and gunships in the air.
Please tell me you brought a suit.
Sure did. It's a lovely Tom Ford 3-piece 2-button. I'm an active duty non-combatant.
Follow me.
Sharon runs past Tony and Natasha. Sam chases Zemo up a stairwell. Steve starts to climb the elevator shaft. Bucky stalks through the building's ground floor. He batters 2 guards. With tech glasses on, Tony takes cover behind a pillar.
We're in position.
Tony taps a wrist control, which becomes his Iron Man glove. He zaps Bucky with a stun burst before Bucky can shoot a guard. Tony rushes him, firing again. Bucky ducks the blast, then trades blows with Tony, firing the gun. Tony has the Iron Man glove over the barrel, blocking the bullet. He pulls the gun barrel loose, then Bucky smacks him backwards. Sharon rushes Bucky, then Natasha rushes Bucky. They both land kicks and punches. Bucky flips Sharon head over heels. She smashes onto a table. Natasha leaps onto Bucky, legs around his neck. He slams her onto another table and grabs her throat.
You could at least recognize me.
T'Challa comes from nowhere and kicks Bucky off Natasha. He fights with Bucky, landing lightning-fast kicks and blows. Bucky sneaks a counter in and T'Challa falls, but quickly recovers. Bucky hurries up a set of stairs. T'Challa leaps the levels and vaults the railing, landing in front of Bucky. Limber T'Challa spin kicks and grabs Bucky's metal arm, which he tries to twist, then looks worried as he realizes it isn't going to work. He throws Bucky backwards and keeps hold as they both tumble down the stairs. They resume fighting on the small landing, and a leg sweep sends Bucky over the railing. T'Challa leaps down after him, but finds the wide reception empty. He scans around. Outside, staff flee the building en masse. Sam, among them, quickly spots something in the ground. It's Bucky's jacket.
Damn it.
Sam looks around the wide courtyard and scowls. Bucky's on the rooftop helipad. He marches up the blue chopper and pulls the lock off the door. He gets in the pilot seat. Steve rushes outside and sprints towards the rising chopper. He leaps and grabs the landing strut. Muscles bulging. Steve pulls hard and the chopper struggles to gain height. Steve's feet kick for traction. He gets them flat on the helipad. The chopper drags him onto the weak-looking mesh framing the helipad. Steve grabs the railing with one hand and clings to the landing strut with the other. He grits his teeth and his neck strains with the incredible effort. Bucky glowers from the inside of the chopper, then throws the joystick left, and the chopper's nose slams into the edge of the helipad. The rotor blades are smashed to pieces, and Steve ducks as the tail swings around. The chopper lies twisted on the mesh at the edge of the pad. Steve rises beside the canopy. Bucky's arm smashes through the glass, and growling, he grabs Steve's throat. The chopper starts to list over the edge. The tail breaks off and falls into the river below. Bucky keeps hold of Steve as the whole vehicle drops and slams into the river. The impact knocks Bucky out cold, and he lets go of Steve. The body of the chopper sinks quickly to the riverbed, along with other debris. Steve surfaces with Bucky in his arms. Back at the airport, at an airport, Zemo listens to a phone message.
He asked me again if you were going to be there. I said I wasn't sure. You should have seen his little face. Just try, okay? I'm going to bed. I love you.
Frowning, Zemo ends the call.
James Barnes, the suspect in the UN Vienna bombing, escaped custody today. Also missing, Avengers Captain Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson.
Zemo eyes the TV screen. Later, he stands in line at a departure gate. The screen above the gate reads Gate 06, Bergen-Flughafen, AEM 2103, 210, Moscow/Moscow. In a huge abandoned warehouse, Bucky comes to with his metallic left arm clamped in a huge industrial vise. Steve peers through a gap at a chopper flying overhead.
Hey, Cap.
You're muted, Bucky.
Steve,
Which Bucky am I talking to?
your mom's name was Sarah. You used to wear newspapers in your shoes.
Can't read that in a museum.
Just like that, we're supposed to be cool?
What did I do?
Enough.
God, I knew this would happen. Everything Hydra put inside me is still there. All he had to do was say the goddamn words.
Who was he?
I don't know.
People are dead. Bombing, the setup. The doctor did all that just to get 10 minutes with you. I need you to do better than I don't know.
He wanted to know about Siberia, where I was kept. He wanted to know exactly where.
Why would he need to know that?
Because I'm not the only Winter Soldier.
1991, at night. Bucky rides alongside the car and causes the car to crash. He circles back, pulls up, and climbs off the motorbike. He's filmed on CCTV as he approaches the car's trunk. He yanks it open, breaking the lock. Inside, he opens a metal case which contains 5 clear drip bags filled with bright blue fluid. 4 young men and a young woman sit up in hospital beds. The blue fluid is fed intravenously into their arms. The drip bags hang on stands beside them. They're all fit and muscular. One man, Joseph, flexes a huge bicep. Later, Joseph screams and is dragged into a cell and left on a bed.
It hurts!
He struggles in leather bindings. A viewing slot shuts. Karpov sits at a desk in a corridor making notes and listening. He opens the door to a lab and switches on the light. Joseph sits on a bed. He looks up at Karpov. Later, Bucky and Joseph fight each other in a barred chamber. The 4 others who were given the blue liquid stand around the perimeter. Joseph kicks with enormous power, sending Bucky flying. Watching, Karpov folds his arms. He speaks in Russian.
Good work.
A medic takes Joseph's pulse, and Joseph slams him onto the floor. A soldier clubs Joseph to no effect. Karpov gets behind Bucky and aims a gun.
Get me out of here.
Joseph and the other 4 Winter Soldiers effortlessly dispatch a squad of soldiers. Bucky escorts covering Karpov from the barred chamber, batting guards aside. In the present,
Who were they?
Squad. More kills than anyone in Hydra history. And that was before the serum.
They all turn out like you?
Worse.
The doctor. Could he control them? So he wanted to see an empire fall.
He's a guy. With these guys, he could do it. They speak 30 languages, can hide in plain sight, infiltrate, assassinate, destabilize. They can take a whole country down in one night. Never see them coming.
This would have been a lot easier a week ago.
We call Tony,
No, he won't believe us.
even if he did.
Who knows if the Accords could let him help? Maybe not. I know a guy.
at the UN.
I don't suppose you have any idea where they are?
We will. GSG-9's got the borders covered. Recon's flying 24/7. They'll get a hit. We'll handle it.
You don't get it, Stark. It's not yours to handle. It's clear you can't be objective. I'm putting special ops on this.
What happens when the shooting starts? What, you kill Steve Rogers?
We're provoked. Barnes would have been eliminated in Romania if it wasn't for Rogers. There are dead people who would be alive now. Feel free to check my math.
All due respect, you're not going to solve this with boys and bullets, Ross. You got to let us bring them in.
How would that end any differently from the last time?
Because this time I won't be wearing loafers and a silk shirt. 72 hours, guaranteed.
36 hours. Barnes, Rogers, Wilson.
Thank you, sir.
Tony rubs his hand on his chest and slumps, exhaling.
My left arm is numb. Is that normal?
Natasha pats him on the shoulder.
You all right?
He has a massive black eye and a cut on his brow.
Always. 36 hours, jeez.
We're seriously understaffed.
Oh, yeah. Be great if we had a Hulk right about now. Any shot?
No. You would think he'd be on our side?
No.
I have an idea.
Me too. Where's yours?
Downstairs. Where's yours?
Queens, New York. Peter Parker walks out of an elevator holding a DVD player with a backpack on his shoulder. He walks into an apartment.
Hey, May.
Hey, how was school today?
Okay. Crazy car parked outside.
Aunt May sits on the couch with Tony Stark.
Oh, Mr. Parker.
What do you do? Hey, I'm Peter.
Tony.
What are you doing here?
It's about time we met. You've been getting my emails, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Regarding the...
You didn't tell me about the grant.
What about the grant?
The September Foundation.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when you applied.
Yeah.
I approved. So now we're in business.
You didn't tell me anything. What's up with that? You keeping secrets from me now?
Why, I just know how much you love surprises. So I thought I would let you know. Well, anyway, what did I apply for?
That's what I'm here to hash out.
Oh, okay. Hash out. Okay.
It's so hard for me to believe that she's someone's aunt.
Yeah, well, we come in all shapes and sizes, you know.
This walnut date loaf is exceptional.
Let me just stop you there.
Yeah?
Is this grant, like, got money involved or whatever? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty well funded.
Wow.
Look who you're talking to. Can I have 5 minutes with him?
Sure.
They go to Peter's bedroom. Tony bolts the door and spits out the walnut loaf.
As walnut date loafs go, it wasn't bad. Oh, what do we have here? Retro tech, huh? Thrift store, Salvation Army?
The garbage, actually.
You're a dumpster diver?
Yeah, I was. Anyway, what? Look, I definitely did not apply for your grant.
Me first.
Okay.
Quick question of the rhetorical variety.
He pulls out his phone, which projects a video of Peter Parker in his homemade spider suit as Spider-Man in blurry YouTube videos.
That's you, right?
No. What do you mean?
In the video, Spider-Man stops a car, throwing himself between the speeding car and a stopped bus.
Yeah, look at you go. Oh, nice catch. 3,000 pounds, 40 miles an hour. That's not easy. You got some mad skills.
That's all on YouTube though, right? I mean, that's where you found that at because you know all of that's fake. It's all done on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that video. What is it?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like those UFOs over Phoenix?
Exactly.
Tony pokes a stick into a hatch in Peter's ceiling. The homemade spider suit drops down on a rope.
Oh, what have we here?
That's a...
So you're the Spider-Ling, crime-fighting spider boy?
Spider-Man.
Not in that onesie, you're not.
It's not a onesie.
Tony picks up the suit.
I don't believe this. I was actually having a real good day today. You know, Mr. Stark? I didn't miss my train. This perfectly good DVD player was just sitting there. And then algebra test, nailed it.
Who else knows? Anybody?
Nobody.
Not even your unusually attractive aunt?
No. If she knew, she would freak out. And when she freaks out, I freak out.
You know what I think is really cool? This webbing. That tensile strength of this is off the charts. Who manufactured it?
I did.
Climbing the walls. How do you do that? Cohesive gloves?
It's a long story. I was,
Tony puts the lenses of Peter's mask to his eyes.
Lordy, can you even see in these?
Yes, I can. I can see in those. Okay. It's just that whatever happened, it's like my senses have been dialed to 11. There's just way too much input. So they just kind of help me focus.
You're in dire need of an upgrade. Systemic, top to bottom. 100-point restoration. That's why I'm here. Why are you doing this? I gotta know. What's your MO? What gets you out of the twin bed in the morning?
Because I've been me my whole life. I've had these powers for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I read books, I build computers, and yeah, I would love to play football, but I couldn't then, so I shouldn't now.
Sure, because you're different.
Exactly. But I can tell anybody that, so I'm not. When you can do the things that I can do, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
So you want to look out for the little guy? You want to do your part, make the world a better place, all that, right?
Yeah. Just looking out for the little guy. That's what it is.
Tony slowly steps over to Peter, whose leg is stretched out on the bed. Tony looks down at it.
I'm going to sit here, so you move the leg.
Peter moves. Tony sits beside him and raises his hand. He hesitantly clasps Peter's shoulder.
You got a passport?
No. I don't even have a driver's license.
You ever been to Germany?
No.
Oh, you'll love it.
I can't go to Germany.
Why?
I got homework.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
I'm being serious. I can't just drop out of school.
Might be a little dangerous. Better tell Aunt Hottie I'm taking you on a field trip.
Peter webs Tony's hand to the door.
Don't tell Aunt May.
All right, Spider-Man.
They share an earnest look.
Can you get me out of this?
Oh, sorry. I'll get that.
Yeah.
Night at Avengers HQ. Vision floats above the door. An explosion in the distance lights up the room for a moment. Vision and Wanda look out the window.
What is it?
Stay here, please.
Vision phases through the window and wall. Suddenly, Wanda compels a knife across the room. It stops dead in front of Clint, aka Hawkeye's head.
Guess I should have not.
Oh my God, what are you doing here?
Disappointing, my kids.
Clint shoots arrows to both sides of the room.
I'm supposed to go water skiing. Cap needs our help. Come on.
Clint, you should not be here.
Vision rises through the floor.
Really? I retire for what, like 5 minutes and all goes to shit?
Please consider the consequences of your actions.
Okay, they're considered. Okay, we gotta go.
Vision is held in a force field, crackling and sparkling between the two arrows.
It's this way.
I've caused enough problems.
Gotta help me, Wanda. Look, if you want to mope, you can go to high school. Okay, you want to make amends, gotta get off your ass. Shit.
Vision breaks the force field with the Mind Stone. He punches Clint to the floor, and Clint recovers quickly.
Oh, I know I should have stressed.
He extends a baton and tries to hit Vision, but the blows go through him. Clint resorts to punches, then tries the baton again. It breaks. Clint tries to kick Vision, but his leg goes right through him. Vision gets Clint in a headlock.
Clint, you can't overpower me.
I know, I can't, but she can.
Vision, that's enough. Let him go. I'm leaving.
I can't let you.
I'm sorry.
She holds her hands apart, glowing with energy. Clint slips from Vision's grasp.
If you do this, they will never stop being afraid of you.
I can't control their fear. Only my own.
She moves closer. Vision glows from within and crashes through the floor and several floors beneath. Wanda and Clint stand over the holes in the floors.
Oh. Come on. We got one more stop.
Back at the Joint Counter-Terrorist Center, T'Challa and Okoye approach a sleek black four-door sedan.
It's just a matter of time. Our satellites are running facial, biometric, and behavioral pattern scans.
Natasha stands in front of the car door.
Move, or you will be moved.
As entertaining as that would be,
You really think you can find him?
my resources are considerable.
Yeah, it took the world 70 years to find Barnes, so you could probably do that in half the time.
You know where they are.
I know someone who does.
Under an overpass, Bucky sits in the back of a small VW Bug. Sam sits in the passenger seat. As another car approaches and parks, Steve exits the driver's side.
Not sure you understand the concept of a getaway car.
It's low profile.
Good, because this stuff tends to draw a crowd.
She opens the trunk of the car, revealing Steve and Sam's gear. In the Bug,
Seat up.
No.
Steve and Sharon stand on either side of the car's trunk.
I owe you again.
Keeping a list?
She glances at Bucky.
You know, he kind of tried to kill me.
Sorry. I'll put that on the list too. They're gonna come looking for you.
I know.
Thank you, Sharon.
They stare at each other for a moment. Steve makes a decision and moves in for a kiss. Sharon cups her hand around the back of his head. The two lean their heads against each other.
That was
Late.
damn right. I should go.
Okay.
Steve smiles and looks to the car. Inside, Sam and Bucky both grin and nod approvingly. On the 6th level of a parking garage at the Leipzig Halle Airport, Steve drives into the parking spot in the battered old car. He parks by a gray van and gets out.
Cap?
You know, I wouldn't have called if I had any other choice.
Hey, man, you're doing me a favor. Besides, I owe a debt.
Thanks for having my back.
It was time to get off my ass.
What about our other recruit?
He's raring to go. I had to put a little coffee in him, but he should be good.
Clint opens the door to reveal Scott Lang, a.k.a. Ant-Man, half dazed.
What time zone is this?
Come on.
Captain America.
Mr. Lang?
It's an honor. I'm shaking your hand too long. Wow, this is awesome. Captain America.
Scott looks at Wanda.
I know you too. You're great.
He turns back and feels Steve's shoulders.
Oh, geez. Look, I want to say, I know you know a lot of super people, so thanks for thinking of me. Hey, man.
What's up, Tic Tac?
Good to see you. Look, what happened last time when
It was a great audition, but it'll never happen again.
They tell you what we're up against?
Something about some psycho assassins?
We're outside the law on this one. So if you come with me, you can come with us. You're a wanted man.
Yeah, what else is new?
We should get moving.
Got a chopper lined up.
This is an emergency. All passengers must evacuate the airport immediately.
They're evacuating the airport.
Stark.
Stark?
Stood up.
Later, Steve, in his uniform, strides through an underpass, then jogs onto a private runway, heading for a grounded chopper. An disabler slams onto the chopper, and Steve looks up. Iron Man and War Machine descend.
Wow, it's so weird how you run into people at the airport. Don't you think that's weird?
Definitely weird.
Hear me out, Tony. That doctor, the psychiatrist, he's behind all of this.
T'Challa leaps over a truck.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Anyway, Ross gave me 36 hours to bring you in. That was 24 hours ago. Can you help a brother out?
You're after the wrong guy.
Your judgment is askew. Your old war buddy killed innocent people yesterday.
And there are 5 more super soldiers just like him. I can't let the doctor find them first, Tony. I can't.
Steve, you know what's about to happen. Do you really want to punch your way out of this one?
All right, I've run out of patience. Under ruse.
Spider-Man shoots a web, stealing Cap's shield and binding his hands.
Nice job, kid.
Thanks. Well, I could have struck the landing a little better. It's just this new suit. Well, thanks. It's nothing, Mr. Stark. It's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay, Captain, big fan. Spider-Man.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Just
hey, everyone.
good job.
You've been busy.
And you've been a complete idiot dragging in Clint, rescuing Wanda from a place she doesn't even want to leave, a safe place. I'm trying to keep you from tearing the Avengers apart.
You did that when you signed.
All right, we're done. You're going to turn Barnes over. You're going to come with us now. Because it's us or a squad of JSOC guys with no compunction about being impolite. Come on.
We found it. They're Quinjets in Hangar 5, North One-Ray.
Steve holds his wrists up and Clint shoots the web off.
All right, Lang.
Hey, guys. Something,
Scott, ant-sized on Cap's shield, grows to human size and kicks Spider-Man in the face.
Whoa, what the hell was that?
Ant-Man retrieves Cap's shield.
I believe this is yours, Captain America.
Oh, great. All right. There's 2 on the parking deck. One of them is Maximoff. I'm going to grab her. Rhodey, you want to take Cap?
Got 2 in the terminal. Wilson and Barnes.
Bonds is mine.
Iron Man, War Machine, and Black Panther race off after Bucky, Falcon, and Scarlet Witch.
hey, Mr. Stark, what should I do?
What we discussed. Keep your distance. Web them up.
Okay, copy that.
Cap grabs Black Panther from behind, throwing him to the ground.
Move, Captain. I won't ask a second time.
Ant-Man faces Black Widow.
Look, I really don't want to hurt you.
I wouldn't stress about it.
She kicks him in the groin and he miniaturizes, throwing her head over heels. She zaps him off her wrist and he slams into a nearby truck, leaving a small dent. Inside the terminal, Spider-Man climbs outside above a running Bucky and Sam.
What the hell is this?
Everyone's got a gimmick now.
Spider-Man swings through the glass wall and kicks Sam backwards. Bucky throws a punch. Spidey catches his fist.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude!
Falcon hits Spidey.
To remain silent.
Mid-air, Peter fends Sam off, then swings after him using his webs. Iron Man shoots rockets that explode just beyond Clint and Wanda. Steve fights hand-to-hand with T'Challa. War Machine locks on.
Sorry, Cap. This won't kill you, but it ain't gonna tickle either.
War Machine smacks Cap's shield with an electrified mace.
Wanda, I think you hurt Vision's feelings.
You locked me in my room.
Okay, first, that's an exaggeration. Second, I did it to protect you. Hey, Clint. No. Hey, Clint.
Clint, you're muted.
Hey, man.
Clearly, retirement doesn't suit you. You got tired of shooting golf?
Well, I played 18. I shot 18. Just can't seem to miss.
Hawkeye fires an arrow, which Tony deflects.
First time for everything.
Made you look.
Suddenly, a car slams past Iron Man. He looks up as dozens more come crashing down. Wanda rows her glowing hands until Iron Man is buried under a pile of cars.
Multiple contusions detected.
Yeah, I detected that too.
Spider-Man swings through the rafters in the terminal, chasing Falcon, who flies backwards, firing. Peter stops on a high beam. His eyes go wide.
Oh, God.
Bucky throws something large at him.
Hey, buddy, I think you lost this.
Peter throws it back. Sam kicks him off the beam, and Peter fires a web, which sends Sam crashing to the floor. Peter webs Sam's wrist to a balcony railing.
Carbon fiber?
Is this stuff coming out of you?
Explain the rigidity flexibility ratio, which gotta say, that is awesome, man.
I don't know if you've been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking.
Oh, right. Sorry. My bad.
Spidey swings down and Bucky jumps in the way. Bucky and Sam fall through the glass down onto the next floor, and Spider-Man webs them.
Guys, look, I'd love to keep this up, but I've only got one job here today, and I gotta impress Mr. Stark, so I'm really sorry.
Red Wing drags Peter through the glass wall.
Ah!
Couldn't have done that earlier.
I hate you.
Outside, Steve kicks War Machine out of the air, then sends T'Challa reeling. War Machine's mace is broken.
Great.
Hey, Cap, heads up.
He throws Steve a miniature truck. Scott holds a small 3-pronged disc.
Throw it at this. Now!
Steve throws it and the truck enlarges, tumbling towards War Machine.
Oh, come on!
The truck lands and explodes.
Oh, man. I thought it was a water truck. Sorry.
Scott and Steve run off.
All right, now I'm pissed.
Iron Man helps Widow to her feet.
Is this part of the plan?
Well, my plan was to go easy on them. You want to switch it up?
Clint, running with Wanda, spots the Quinjet.
There's our ride.
Come on.
Steve's team runs towards the Quinjet. A fizzing stream of energy slices across the runway and they stop. Vision hovers overhead.
Captain Rogers, I know you believe what you're doing is right, but for the collective good, you must surrender now.
Black Panther and War Machine arrive, followed by Spider-Man. Along with Iron Man and Black Widow, they stand beneath Vision. Across the runway, they face off with Falcon, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Captain America, and Bucky.
What do we do, Cap?
We fight.
This is gonna end well.
The two teams stride towards each other with grim determination etched on their faces.
They're not stopping.
Neither are we.
Everyone breaks into a sprint. Steve blocks a punch as Iron Man lands. Clint fires an arrow at Vision. War Machine flies after Falcon and Buck as Bucky trade blows with Black Panther. An explosive arrow hits Iron Man. Natasha throws Scott as Peter swings through the air, struggling to evade vehicles projected by Wanda. Bucky lands punches on T'Challa. Clint and Natasha battle with batons. Clint pins her down with his bow.
We're still friends, right?
Depends on how hard you hit me.
She spins him with her legs. As Widow's about to kick his head, her foot stops and glows bright red. Wanda projects Natasha down.
You were pulling your punches.
Clint nods sheepishly. Bucky and T'Challa have each other by the throat.
I didn't kill your father.
Why did you run?
T'Challa pulls Bucky's hand off his neck, then spins him and fly kicks him backwards. He sprouts claws and aims for Bucky's neck, but Wanda stops his hand, then waves her arms and sends T'Challa crashing into a passenger gangway. Peter swings past. Steve snaps the webs with his shield.
That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all.
Look, kid, there's a lot going on here that you don't understand.
Said you'd say that. Wow.
Spidey fires webs which stick to Steve's shield and ankle. He pulls and Steve slides towards him. Peter kicks him backwards, then rolls clear.
He also said to go for your legs.
As Steve runs to get a shield, Peter webs his hands and pulls. Steve grits his teeth, spins and somersaults, propelling Peter through the air. Falcon evades fire from Iron Man.
Clint, can you get him off me?
Buckled in?
Yeah, no, I'm good, Arrow Guy. Let's go.
Miniaturized Scott grips the tip of Clint's arrow. As he fires it, the head splits and Iron Man shoots the shards. Scott dives between Iron Man's hands and slips inside the Iron Man suit to the shoulder joint. Steve catches a web and tugs Peter towards him, knocking him down with the shield. Peter recovers and pulls himself up on top of a gangway.
Doc, tell you anything else?
That you're wrong. You think you're right, and that makes you dangerous.
He swings down and Steve leaps to kick him backwards onto the gangway's ledge.
I guess he had a point.
Cap throws his shield at the leg and the gangway falls. Peter holds it up.
You got heart, kid. Where you from?
Please.
Brooklyn.
Steve leaves Peter holding the gangway. Clint fires arrows at hovering Iron Man, whose arm lasers malfunction.
Friday.
We have some weapon systems offline.
They what?
Ant-Man is inside Iron Man's suit.
Oh, you're gonna have to take this one into the shop.
Who is speaking?
It's your conscience. We don't talk a lot these days.
Friday.
Deploying fire suppression system.
Uh-oh. Oh boy, oh boy. Ah!
Ant-Man sprints through narrow banks of components, chased by a rolling cloud of CO2. He's ejected from the suit.
We gotta go. That guy's probably in Siberia by now.
We gotta draw out their flyers. I'll take Vision. You get to the jet.
Falcon is chased by War Machine.
No, you get to the jet. Both of you. The rest of us aren't getting out of here.
As much as I hate to admit it, if we're going to win this one, some of us might have to lose it.
This isn't the real fight, Steve.
All right, Sam, what's the play?
We need a diversion, something big.
I got something kind of big, but I can't hold it very long. On my signal, run like hell. And if I tear myself in half, don't come back for me.
Gonna tear himself in half?
You sure about this, Scott?
Oh, I do it all the time. I mean, once. In a lab. Well, then I passed out. I'm the boss, 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 I'm the boss!
Ant-Man leaps for mobile stairs and lands on War Machine's back as he flies past. He operates his suit's wrist, shuts his eyes, and activates a remote. Scott grows into the towering Giant Man and grabs War Machine's leg mid-air.
Holy shit!
Okay, tiny dude is big now. He's big now.
I guess that's the signal.
Way to go, Tic Tac.
Give me back my roadie.
Falcon flies feet first into Iron Man.
I got it!
Giant Man sends War Machine flying and Spider-Man catches him with a web. Scott kicks a bus towards Black Panther. Vision descends and braces himself, splitting the bus in two and protecting T'Challa from harm. T'Challa spots Captain America and Bucky sprinting past. Chasing Falcon, Iron Man evades Giant Man swinging the wing of a giant plant at him.
Okay, anybody on our side hiding any shocking and fantastic abilities they'd like to disclose? I'm open for suggestions.
Falcon arrows towards Iron Man, firing Red Wing, which crashes into Tony's helmet. Giant Man blocks Black Panther's path.
You want to get to them? You gotta go through me.
He sweeps his gigantic foot through the crates T'Challa's standing on, smashing them to pieces. Scott is engulfed in explosions as War Machine swoops towards him with Peter clinging to a web stuck on War Machine's back. He fires more webs and wraps them around Scott's oversized arms. Clint fires arrows at T'Challa, who catches two right in front of his face. After the arrowheads explode, he drops them and rises, extending his claws. Clint flattens his bow and spins it around.
We haven't met yet. I'm Clint.
I don't care.
Wielding the bow like a staff, Clint attacks T'Challa, who acrobatically ducks, then counters with a high kick. Giant Man punches War Machine in the air and swings a gangway towards him as he recovers. War Machine opens fire and the gangway disintegrates. Scott tries to stomp on War Machine, who dives clear, evading a lunge of Scott's hand. War Machine is struck by something.
Ah!
Wanda waves her hands, flinging vehicles into War Machine's path.
Get off.
Distracted by Spider-Man, Giant Man doesn't spot Vision curling into a ball and ramming into him. Vision spots Steve and Bucky approaching the hangar as Giant Man wavers. He simply floats through Ant-Man's chest.
Something just flew in me.
Vision fires a shining beam of energy from his Mind Stone, and the control tower collapses towards the entrance of the hangar. Wanda struggles to slow its collapse. Then War Machine descends behind her and fires a sonic disruptor. Wanda holds her head and screams. The tower falls all around Steve and Bucky, but they make it into the hangar where Natasha is waiting for them.
You're not going to stop.
You know I can't.
I'm going to regret this.
She stuns T'Challa, who has arrived behind them.
Go.
Steve and Bucky run for the Quinjet as she keeps T'Challa at bay. Outside.
Hey guys, you ever see that really, really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back?
Jesus, Tony, how old is this guy?
I don't know. I didn't carbon date him. He's on the young side.
You know that part where they're on the snow planet with the walking thingy?
Spider-Man wraps webs around Giant Man's legs.
Maybe the kid's onto something.
Hi now, Tony. Go high.
Spidey swings around and around Ant-Man's legs as Iron Man and War Machine power towards his head, both landing blows together.
Yeah! That was awesome!
Giant Man topples, a flailing limb catching Peter and knocking him flying just before Scott slams into the ground on his back. He returns to normal size and removes the faceplate of his helmet.
Does anyone have any orange slices?
Tony lands by Peter, who lays in a heap. Retracting the helmet.
Kid, you all right?
Get off me!
Oh, same side, same side. Guess who? Hi, it's me.
Harry.
Yeah, you're done, all right?
What?
You did a good job. Stay down.
Oh, I'm good. I'm fine.
Stay down.
It's good. I gotta get it back.
You're going home, or I'll call Aunt May. You're done.
Wait. It's just Stark. Wait. I'm not done. I'm not. Okay. I'm done.
In the partially wrecked hangar, the Quinjet's engines fire and the guns blast debris from the entrance. Natasha keeps T'Challa held until the jet rises. Black Panther leaps but can't keep hold, and the Quinjet soars out of the hangar. War Machine flies after it. In the hangar,
I said I'd help you find him, not catch him. There's a difference.
outside, Vision kneels beside Wanda and gently holds her in his arms.
I'm sorry.
Wanda, we couldn't hear you on that one. Can we try that again? Wanda, test your microphone.
Paprikash?
There we go. Ryan, can we roll it back to the line before Visions?
Sure thing. Outside, Vision kneels beside Wanda and gently holds her in his arms.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
It's as I said, catastrophe.
Piloting the Quinjet, Steve looks over his shoulder and spots War Machine encroaching to the right. Steve pushes forward on the thrusters. Iron Man flies beside War Machine and Falcon follows them.
Vision, I got a bandit on my 6.
Falcon fires small explosives which erupt and buffet War Machine.
Vision, you copy? Target his thrusters. Turn him into the glider.
Vision takes aim and fires his head laser. Falcon spots it coming and tucks into a tumble. The laser overshoots and slices through the core on War Machine's chest plate. War Machine loses power and goes into a spinning free fall.
Rhodey.
Iron Man and Falcon dive.
Tony, I'm flying dead stick.
As he plunges, the suit emits black smoke. Iron Man swoops down towards him. Rhodey's eyes start to close.
Rhodes.
War Machine smacks into a wide grassy field just before Iron Man lands nearby. His helmet retracts and he pulls off War Machine's faceplate. Rhodey's eyes are closed and there's blood on his face.
Read vitals.
Heartbeat detected. Emergency medical is on its way.
Falcon swoops down and lands on his feet. His wings retract.
I'm sorry.
Tony zaps Falcon backwards with a blast of energy from the palm of his suit. Vision glides to the ground just in front of Falcon. Stone-faced, Tony remains with his arms around Rhodey. Somewhere in Siberia, Zemo makes a phone call. In German.
Guten Morgen, room service.
Good morning, Mrs. Lieber. This is room 201.
Ah, Herr Mutter. Bacon and black coffee again today?
You know me so well.
In Zemo's room in Berlin, Germany.
Hello? Your breakfast is here? May I let myself in? Herr Muller? Herr Muller? Oh, God!
She comes in and discovers the dead body of Dr. Theo Broussard in the bathtub. Steve flies the Quinjet towards mountains. Bucky sits beside him.
What's going to happen to your friends?
Steve stares ahead.
Whatever it is, I'll deal with the consequences.
I don't know if I'm worth all this, Steve.
What you did all those years, it wasn't you. You didn't have a choice.
I know, but I did it.
At a hospital, Rhodes lies inside a CT scanner. He's in a blue gown covering his body. Tony paces up to Vision, who watches Rhodes.
How did this happen?
I was distracted.
Didn't think that was possible.
Neither did I.
Along the corridor, Tony spots an equally concerned Natasha. Tony and Natasha stand on a balcony looking towards a row of trees.
The doctors say he shattered L4 through S1. Extreme laceration in the spinal cord, probably looking at some form of paralysis.
Steve's not going to stop. If If you don't either, Rhodey's gonna be the best case scenario.
Let them go, Nat.
We played this wrong.
We? Boy, it must be hard to shake the whole double agent thing, huh? Sticks in the DNA.
Are you incapable of letting go of your ego for one goddamn second?
T'Challa told Ross what you did, so they're coming for you.
I'm not the one who needs to watch their back.
Natasha walks away. Tony activates holographic images appearing on his wrist device. It displays images of the dead doctor in Zemo's Berlin hotel room.
What am I looking at, Friday?
Priority upload from Berlin, please.
Fire up the chopper.
Tony flies over a stormy sea in the chopper. He looks at surveillance images on a tablet computer.
The task force called for a psychiatrist as soon as Barnes was captured. The UN dispatched Dr. Theo Broussard from Geneva within the hour. He was met by this man.
Did you run facial recognition yet?
What do I look like?
I don't know. I've been picturing a redhead.
You must be thinking of someone else.
Yeah, must be.
The fake doctor is actually Colonel Helmut Zemo, Sokovian intelligence. Zemo ran Echo Scorpion, a Sokovian covert kill squad.
So what happened to the real Broussard?
He was found dead in a Berlin hotel room, where police also found a wig and facial prosthesis approximating the features of one James Buchanan Barnes.
Son of a bitch. Get this to Ross.
Yes, boss.
A wide and flat snow-covered landscape. A mountain looms on the horizon. A Caterpillar truck stops on the windswept mountain plateau. Zemo gets out of the vehicle. Set in rocks is an entrance with huge rusted double doors. Zemo hacks away at the wall beside the doors. He uncovers a control panel and keys in a code whilst referring to the red book. The huge curved double doors break open just a crack. Zemo pulls them open wider. He shines a flashlight and pulls down the hood of his coat. Inside is a vast gloomy space cramped with shelves stacked with filing boxes. Zemo moves a ladder along and searches the boxes. He climbs up the ladder and removes a filing box labeled, in Russian, December 1991. Zemo walks along a tunnel which opens into a cavernous chamber with a high ceiling. He carries a VHS cassette and a flashlight. Standing around the chamber are 5 large clear-sided capsules. They glow a gold yellow inside. Frowning, Zemo walks up to one of the capsules and shines his flashlight inside. In the capsule, motionless in a state of suspended animation, is the enhanced soldier Joseph. Elsewhere, Tony flies the chopper low over the broiling sea. He operates the chopper with a touchscreen computer in a wall panel.
This is the Raft Prison Control. You're clear for landing, Mr. Stark.
The sea swells and surges as Raft Prison rises up from beneath. A huge fortified circular structure with small lights around the sides. 2 semicircular doors open up in the flat circular top. The chopper lands on a helipad and the doors close above it. Tony, left arm in a sling, walks up to Secretary Ross.
So, you got the files? Let's reroute the satellites, start facial scanning for this Zemo guy.
You seriously think I'm going to listen to you after that fiasco in Leipzig? You're lucky you're not in one of those cells.
Ross leads Tony on through a thick steel security door. Soldiers stand guard in an operations room. Tony looks at a surveillance screen. It shows Wanda sitting hunched and bedraggled in a cramped prison cell. Another security door opens. Tony walks into a chamber surrounded by large, barred windows. Beyond the windows are a number of prison cells.
The futurist, gentlemen! The futurist is here. He sees all. He knows what's best for you, whether you like it or not.
Give me a break, Barton. I had no idea they'll put you here. Come on.
Yeah, well, you knew they'd put us somewhere, Tony.
Yeah, but not some Supermax floating ocean pokey. You know, this place is for maniacs. This place is for...
Criminals? Criminals, Tony. I think that's the word you're looking for. Right? Didn't used to mean me. Or Sam. Or Wanda. Here we are.
Because you broke the law.
Yeah.
I didn't make you.
La 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 la
Read it?
la la
You
la
broke it.
la la.
All right, you're all grown up. You got
la,
a
la,
wife
la,
and
la,
kids. I don't understand.
la,
Why
la,
didn't you
la,
up them before you chose the wrong side?
Tony walks away.
Gotta watch your back with this guy. There's a chance he's gonna break it.
Pym always said, you can never trust a Stark.
Who are you?
Come on, man.
How's Rhodes?
They're flying him to Columbia Medical tomorrow, so fingers crossed. What do you need? They feed you yet?
You're the good cop now?
I'm just the guy who needs to know where Steve went.
Well, you better go and get a bad cop, because you're going to have to mark Furman on my ass to get information out of me.
Tony taps at his touchscreen watch.
Oh, I just knocked the A out of their AV. We got 30 seconds before they realize it's not their equipment.
In the operations room.
What did you do? Get it back up.
Back in the cell, Tony projects a hologram of the dead doctor in the bathroom.
Just look, because that is the fellow who was supposed to interrogate Barnes. Clearly, I made a mistake. Sam, I was wrong.
That's a first.
Cap is definitely off the reservation, but he's about to need all the help he can get. We don't know each other very well. You don't have to.
Hey, it's all right. Look, I'll tell you, but you have to go alone and as a friend.
Easy.
Later, Tony walks to his chopper.
Dark. Did he give you anything on Rogers?
Nope. Told me to go to hell. I'm going to go back to the compound instead, but you can call me anytime. I'll put you on hold. I like to watch the line blink.
Ross stares at Tony, who smiles as he gets in the chopper and the door slides shut. The chopper rises off the helipad and flies away. The doors close on the prison roof. Sitting in the chopper, Tony unclips the sling holding his left arm. He cradles his arm in his hand for a moment. He slowly reaches out the injured arm and presses a button on a panel. The Iron Man suit wraps itself around Tony. A hatch opens and he flies out of the chopper as Iron Man. He speeds through dark clouds. Close behind, T'Challa is at the controls of a Quinjet. Elsewhere, Steve brings his Quinjet into land beside Zemo's Caterpillar truck on the remote icy mountaintop. The jet's wings fold up beside the fuselage. On board, Bucky pulls out a rack of guns labeled Romanov. He takes a light machine gun. Bucky and Steve stand together, waiting for the exit ramp to descend.
Remember that time we had to ride back from Rockaway Beach in the back of that freezer truck?
At the time we used our train money to buy hot dogs.
You blew $3 trying to win that stuffed bear for a redhead.
What was her name again?
Dolores. You called her doll.
She's got to be 100 years old right now.
So are we, pal.
He clamps his hand on Bucky's shoulder. Now wearing his helmet, Steve walks with Bucky up to the entrance set in rock. The door is still open.
Can't have been here for more than a few hours.
Long enough to wake them up.
Steve leads them into the vast bunker. They travel into the depths inside a caged elevator. It stops in the bowels of the bunker and the doors slide open. Steve nods to Bucky and heaves up the cage door. Bucky readies his heavy-duty machine gun and they walk along a corridor, keeping close to a wall. Bucky looks into an alcove full of junk, then he and Steve move on up some stairs. At the sound of a loud thud, they spin around, aiming down the corridor.
You ready?
Yeah.
Double doors part, forced open by Iron Man. Tony walks towards Steve and Bucky and retracts the suit's helmet.
You seem a little defensive.
Bucky keeps his gun trained while Steve walks to meet Tony, his shield covering his body.
It's been a long day.
At ease, soldier. I'm not currently after you.
Then why are you here?
Could be your story's not so crazy. Maybe. Ross has no idea I'm here. I'd like to keep it that way. Otherwise, I gotta arrest myself.
Well, that sounds like a lot of paperwork. Good to see you, Tony.
You too, Cap. Hey, Manchurian candidate, you're killing me. There's a truce here. You can drop the thing.
Steve signs Bucky to lower his weapon, and he does. The three of them cautiously walk along a corridor. T'Challa in his Black Panther suit hides around a corner, watching them. With his helmet and faceplate re-engaged, Iron Man leads Steve and Bucky towards the enormous chamber with capsules standing in it.
I got heat signatures.
How many?
1.
As they enter the vast chamber, the lights come on. Hazy yellow mist descends within the capsules. As well as Joseph, each one contains an enhanced soldier from the 1991 experiments. Steve and the others look around, bewildered.
If it's any comfort, they died in their sleep.
All of the enhanced soldiers have been shot in the head. Bucky stares at Joseph's corpse.
Did you really think I wanted more of you?
What the hell?
I'm grateful for them, though. They brought you here.
Zemo appears in a control room. Steve hurls his shield, but it rebounds and flies back.
Please, Captain. The Soviets built this chamber to withstand the launch blast of UR-100 rockets.
I'm betting I could beat that.
Oh, I'm sure you could, Mr. Stark. Given time. But then you'd never know why you came.
You killed innocent people in Vienna just to bring us here?
Black Panther watches from the shadows. Steve looks at Zemo through a window.
I thought about nothing else for over a year. I studied you. I followed you. But now that you're standing here, I just realized there's a bit of green in the blue of your eyes. How nice to find a flaw.
Sokovia. Is that what this is about?
Sokovia was a failed state long before you blew it to hell. No. I'm here because I made a promise.
You lost someone.
I lost everyone. And so will you.
Zemo plays surveillance footage from December 16th, 1991. Steve steps over to the screen.
An empire toppled by its enemies can rise again. But one which crumples from within, that's dead forever.
Tony looks at the freeze frame of a secluded road and the date, December 16, 1991.
I know that road. What is this?
The video plays. That car that the Winter Soldier forced off the road crashes into a tree. Tony watches intently as the Winter Soldier rides up and gets off his motorbike. The driver lies on the ground beside the car. It's Tony's father, Howard.
Jerome, we're not hearing
Help
you.
my wife. Please. Help.
The Winter Soldier walks over and hoists him up by his hair. He stares at Howard's bloody face. Howard stares back pleadingly.
Sergeant Barnes.
Howard?
In the video, the Winter Soldier pounds Howard hard in the face with his metal fist.
Howard!
In grief, Tony closes his eyes for a moment. On screen, his father slumps, dead. The Winter Soldier puts him in the driver's seat with his face against the steering wheel. Tony stares in horror. Maria's in the passenger seat with blood streaked down her face. The Winter Soldier walks around and grips her throat. Expressionless, he strangles Maria. Tony watches the screen, stunned. The Winter Soldier walks up and aims a gun at the surveillance camera. Steve watches Tony anxiously. Tony lunges towards Bucky. Steve stops him.
Tony.
Did you know?
Didn't know it was him.
Don't bullshit me, Rogers. Did you know?
Tony steps back, his chin jutting upwards, twitchy. Tony re-engages the Iron Man helmet. He punches Steve to the floor and deflects gunfire from Bucky, disarming him. He grabs Bucky and flies across the chamber. Tony slams Bucky onto the floor, then jumps on his arms. Steve's shield hits Iron Man, distracting him. Steve bulldozes him backwards. Iron Man shoulders cap to the floor and shackles his ankles. Bucky punches Iron Man, who just lifts him and slams him against a machine. Iron Man raises a fist, but Bucky twists it. A rocket shoots out of Iron Man's arm, and a fireball explodes. Steve slices his shackles as a towering structure of pipework collapses. Tony and Bucky are thrown down a level as twisted metal falls around them, showering sparks.
Get out of here!
As Bucky bolts, Iron Man fires but misses. Steve lands in front of him. Bucky hits a control panel, and the silo-style door overhead starts to open.
It wasn't him, Tony. Hydra had control of his mind.
Move.
It wasn't him.
Steve grabs Iron Man's ankle in midair and smashes it. Iron Man blocks Steve by shooting down rubble, then falteringly flies up the tower.
Left boot jet failing. Flight systems compromised.
Crap.
Above him, Bucky leaps from platform to platform. With stuttering jets, Iron Man gives chase, then kicks Bucky and takes aim, but the energy bolt rebounds off Steve's shield onto himself. Iron Man drops like a stone and lands on a lower platform.
He's not going to stop. Go.
As Iron Man soars upwards, Steve leaps and shoots a wire which wraps around Iron Man's neck and drags him back down. Tony deflects Steve's shield, then tries to target Bucky.
Come on, come on.
Targeting systems knackered, boss.
I'm eyeballing it.
His helmet retracts and he shuts one eye, taking aim at the opening hatch. He fires and hits the giant hinge, which explodes, cutting off Bucky's escape route. He flies up, blocks 2 swings of an iron pipe from Bucky, then grabs him around the neck from behind.
Do you remember them?
I remember all of them.
Bucky pushes them both from the walkway. Steve jumps into them to deflect their fall. Bucky lands on a platform while Tony and Steve land on the concrete floor beside an opening in the wall where snow drifts in from outside.
This isn't going to change what happened.
I don't care. He killed my mom.
They trade punches and Iron Man ends up pinning Steve down. Bucky picks up Captain America's shield and leaps down to help. As the 2 super soldiers fist fight with Iron Man, the shield changes hands between them until Tony manages to zap Steve, who's thrown back into the wall. Bucky struggles to hold Iron Man at bay as he unleashes an energy beam, then forces Iron Man against the opposite wall and grips the glowing core in the chest of the Iron Man suit. A blast of energy knocks Bucky down, metal arm completely blown away. Tony zaps him again. Steve rushes him with his shield up, and Iron Man fires right at it. Outside, Zemo sits listening to a phone message.
You should have seen his little face. Just try, okay? I'm going to bed. I love you.
I almost killed the wrong man.
Hardly an innocent one.
This is all you wanted? To see them rip each other apart?
Zemo deletes the voice message.
My father lived outside the city. I thought we would be safe there. My son was so excited he could see the Iron Man from the car window. I told my wife, don't worry. They are fighting in the city. We're miles from harm. When the dust cleared and the screaming stopped, it took me 2 days until I found their bodies. My father, still holding my wife and son in his arms. And the Avengers, they went home. I knew I couldn't kill them. More powerful men than me have tried. But if I could get them to kill each other. I'm sorry about your father. He seemed a good man with a dutiful son.
Vengeance has consumed you. It is consuming them.
T'Challa blinks and retracts the gloves in his claws in his gloves.
I am done letting it consume me. Justice will come soon enough.
Holding a gun, Zemo smiles thinly.
Tell that to the dead.
Zemo tries to shoot himself, but T'Challa grabs the muzzle of the gun, stopping the bullet in his vibranium glove.
The living are not done with you yet.
Back in the silo, Steve batters Tony with a flurry of boxer's blows.
You can't beat him hand to hand.
Analyze his fight pattern.
Scanning.
Iron Man's heads-up display flashes red as Steve lands blow after blow.
Countermeasures ready.
Iron Man grabs Captain America's shield.
Let's kick his ass.
Tony flings the shield away, then zaps Steve backwards, head over heels. Steve rises and Tony blocks his punches, then zaps him to his knees in front of Bucky, who's lying on his back.
He was my friend.
So was I.
Iron Man punches Steve, then throws him back towards the gaps in the wall.
Stay down. Final warning.
Cap struggles to his feet, his face bloody and his gaze weary. He raises his fist and stares Iron Man down.
I can do this all day.
Iron Man raises his left palm, ready to fire. Bucky grabs his leg and Tony spins, kicking him in the face. Steve grabs Iron Man and lifts him over his head, then throws him down, punches him and bashes his mask off with his shield before striking down hard on the suit's core. Tony looks horrified and glowers fearfully at Steve, who pants for breath. Both heroes have blood spattered across their faces. Steve looks back at Tony, then shuts his eyes and slumps down. The shield remains upright, stuck in the arc reactor of Iron Man's suit. When Steve struggles up again, he takes hold of the shield, gripping the edge and pulling it free. He steps away from Tony, who rolls painfully onto his side. Bucky lies bloodied but conscious. Steve reaches out and pulls him to his feet, holding Bucky up as Tony looks on.
That shield doesn't belong to you.
Steve turns his back.
You don't deserve it.
My father made that shield.
Steve stops, raises his chin, then drops the shield and walks away with Bucky's arm around his shoulder. Later, in a secure chamber at the Berlin UN bunker, Zemo is contained in a prison pod, his ankles cuffed to his seat. Everett Ross enters the chamber.
Meals at 8 and 5, toilet privileges twice a day. Raise your voice, zap. Touch the glass, zap. Step out of line, you deal with me. Please step out of line. So, how does it feel to spend all that time, all that effort, and to see it fail so spectacularly?
He looks up to meet Everett's gaze.
Did it?
At Avengers HQ, Tony's with Rhodes as he tentatively walks beside parallel bars with high-tech leg braces.
It's just the first pass.
Yeah.
Give me some feedback. Anything you could think of. Shock absorption, lateral movement, cup holder.
You may want to think about some AC. You may want to think about some AC down in.
Rhodey falls onto his hands.
Let's go. I'll give you a hand.
No, don't help me. Don't help me.
Rhodey rises to his hands and knees. He turns to sit on the floor beside Tony.
138. 138 combat missions. That's how many I've flown, Tony. Every one of them could have been my last, but I flew them because the fight needed to be fought. It's the same with these accords. I signed because it was the right thing to do. And yeah, this sucks. This is a bad beat, but it hasn't changed my mind. I don't think.
He gives a crooked smile.
You okay?
Yeah.
Stan Lee is a FedEx driver, knocks on a window.
Are you Tony Stank?
Yes. This is Tony Stank. You're in the right place. Thank you for that. I'm never dropping that, by the way. Table for one, Mr. Stank. Please, by the bathroom.
Later, Tony sits at a desk alone, opens the package, and finds an envelope and a phone inside.
Tony, I'm glad you're back at the compound. I don't like the idea of you rattling around a mansion all by yourself. We all need family. The Avengers are yours, maybe more so than mine. I've been on my own since I was 18. I never really fit in anywhere, even in the army. My faith's in people, I guess, individuals. And I'm happy to say that, for the most part, they haven't let me down.
Back in the Raft prison.
Which is why I can't let them down either.
Many guards are out cold in the control room.
Locks can be replaced, but maybe they shouldn't. I know I hurt you, Tony. I guess I thought by not telling you about your parents, I was sparing you. But I can see now that I was really sparing myself, and I'm sorry. Hopefully, one day, you can understand. I wish we agreed on the accords, I really do. I know you're doing what you believe in, and that's all any of us can do. That's all any of us should do.
Priority call from Secretary Ross. There's been a breach at the Raft prison.
Yeah, put him through.
Tony, we have a problem.
Please hold.
No, don't.
So no matter what, I promise you, if you need us, if you need me.
Sam looks around his cell and smiles. Steve strides confidently through the dark room.
I'll be there.
In a white and spacious medical facility, Bucky is attached to an IV drip.
You sure about this?
Can't trust my own mind. So, until they figure out how to get this stuff out of my head, I think going back under is the best thing for everybody.
Steve watches as Bucky is placed into a cryogenic chamber. Steve stands staring through a window. T'Challa walks towards him.
Thank you for this.
T'Challa contemplates.
He was having issues with his camera earlier.
Trying.
There he is. We'll go from thank you for this. Thank you for this.
Your friend and my father, they were both victims. If I can help one of them find peace.
Yeah. You know, if they find him, if they find out he's here, they'll come for him.
Let them try.
They both look out over a lush jungle landscape dominated by a gigantic statue of a fearsome black panther, its teeth bared. In Peter's room in Queens,
Who hit you?
Some guy.
Peter fiddles with his web shooter.
So itchy, man. God.
What's some guy's name?
Steve.
Steve. From 12C with the overbite.
No. You don't know him. He's from Brooklyn.
Peter's wristband emits a red beam, which he hides.
Ouch.
Well, I hope you got a few good licks in.
Yeah, I got a quite a few in actually. His friend was huge, like huge.
May gives him ice in a towel.
Oh, that's way better. Thank you.
Okay, tough guy.
She leaves the room.
Love you, May. Hey, can you shut the door?
He shines the red beam onto his bedroom ceiling and grins, looking up at a glowing image of Spider-Man's mask, surrounded by technical readouts. Spider-Man will return. The end.
Hooray!
Fantastic job, everyone. Fantastic job. Thank you so much to Myers for narrating for us. Ryan, take a bow. There he is. There he is. Thank you so much. And thank you all of you who are watching. This is going to be on YouTube. It's on my personal YouTube. Thomas Squires, you can find me on YouTube. And hopefully we'll find somebody to edit this and put it all together. Thanks for all of our new friends, Michaela, Tim, Jerome. It was great to have you guys along for the first time. Sean, great job. We've got a lot of things coming up. This week, this Saturday is Ghostbusters, the original film from the 80s. Kevin is hard at work casting that. And next week starts our Halloween extravaganza. We have 5 readings in 1 week. It's a first. We're doing Clue, The Addams Family, Hocus Pocus, Cabin in the Woods, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And Beetlejuice. So they're all going to be happening. I am not going to be in all of them because hell no. I need a break. But those casting posters will be going out on Zooming the Movies. Be sure to